Oh Lord, these people have gone crazy defending the Black American cultural and historical impact and current impact on the world is a thankless, non-ending, low-paying job. It's like every day somebody's coming to take credit for our shit. And this is something that we're going to have to keep pressing the line, keep reminding folks, and keep telling folks who the F we are. And you may ask Dewan, why is this important? It's important because people behave how they see themselves, how they see their group, and how they see themselves in their group in relationship to others in their groups. That's just human nature. And when you know you've done something great in the world, you act that way. You're less likely to harm one another. So this cultural fight is for the menticide that's waged on the black mind. It's to let the black children know that you are somebody, not just a rapper, not just a basketball player, and not just a street criminal. You a genius. So that's why we gotta correct and right these wrongs when people lie and say that hip hop owes its drums to Japan. The reason people do this stuff is one, out of insecurity, two, out of just straight up disrespect and hate for your black ass. So we about to get into it. Give me 30 seconds. We're going to play the intro music and then we going to get started. All right, let's go. Mic check, 212. What up, y'all? Yes, yes, yes. So, this is what made me bring up this topic. Let me get some. Actually, before we get into the topic, make sure that if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you go check out that Patreon. Patreon, it was no music class today. Like I said, we on music class break right now. But we will be getting started right back at the beginning of the year. We're at the midway point through our history of R&B course. And in my history of R&B course, we talk about all this stuff, you know what I mean? The instrumentations along with the artists and stuff like that. So make sure you join the Patreon. Make sure you get on the card reading tier if you want to ask questions. And for everyone that's on the card reading tier on Patreon, if you have not gotten your report yet, hit me up. I gave a Christmas gift to all of my Patreon card reading tier and higher. You all got a Christmas gift. And that was a free 2026 report on how to plan out your year strategically based on your birth card. That's all with the Christmas gift for those who've been on Patreon for me. Today we put out volume two. I'm sorry, volume one, issue two of our newsletter. We have a new semi-weekly newsletter on Patreon. I try to get it to you every week, but I might miss some weeks because I'm a busy motherfucker. But you get a newsletter that we get out that talks about it summarizes what we talked about here on YouTube for the week, and also on the newsletter it gets in and talking about um, what the cardology forecast for the week and stuff like that. So if you're on Patreon, and that's for all tiers, if you're on Patreon, all tiers gets the newsletter. I appreciate y'all. What's up, Rocky? You in here? You ready? You ready, Rocky? You ready? You with me, Rocky? You with us, Rocky? You gonna kick it this show, or you gonna be tripping and try to leave? What you gonna do? You gonna kick it? All right, Rocky said he gonna kick it this show. He gonna sit down and go to sleep. He's not gonna be trying to get up out of here. All right, cool. There you go. Lay down, little nigga. All right, so let's get it in. So let's break it down. This came from I saw my man Hassan. He's my cameraman. He does all of my camera stuff. I saw him responding on Threads. Usually I'm not on Threads. Threads is just where posts that I put up on Facebook. I have my Facebook posts automatically go to Threads, but I don't pay attention to Threads. Threads is stupid. But I did see this one comment on Threads. I was like, oh, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this. This is a small one. So let me go broad. Let me go higher, bigger. This was the post. Just remember, the Japanese invented the drums we use in hip hop today. Without them, we'd be using live drums. Here's the reason why I want to address this. Because I've seen this just a post that I saw today, but I've seen similar posts like this in the past because the drum machine is so prevalent in music. I've seen people wanting to give credit to the Japanese. Going back to an old video, it was a interview Lupe Fiasco did. I don't know if it was an interview or something he said on Twitter. But what respect to Lupe? I met Lupe Fiasco last week at Robert Glasper's show. He was hella cool. But I still want to address it because things like this get put out there, and I've seen people like Lupe Fiasco echo this sentiment that without Japanese drum machines, hip hop wouldn't be where it is today. And so what I want to do is I want to answer that in two ways. This is the first one right down the middle. No, Japan did not invent the drum machine. The drum machine was invented right here in the United States of America. As a matter of fact, we could take it all the way. We could bring it to right here, and actually not just outside of LA, up in Upland. You get the first drum machine, the Chamberlain Rhythm 8, 1949. You have the Wurlitzer, the Wurlitzer Sideman. That was a drum machine. Wurlitzer, they made a lot of keyboards back in the 60s and the 50s. The drum machine was invented here. Okay, let's start off by just flat out, it's invented here. Now Japan did pick up on the drum machine, and they advanced the drum machine, and we'll get into why Japan advanced the drum machine a little bit later. I'm going to put a pin in that part about Japan advancing the drum machine. We're going to get back to that, okay? Because even that is a political thing, okay? We're going to do a full 360-degree analysis of the history around the drum machine today. The economic environment, the music industry push, the spiritual aspect of it, and also the political aspect of it, okay? So, one, that's just a lie. The drum machine was invented here in the United States of America. The other point I'm going to prove and talk about as we get on later on in the show is yes, the drum machine is an essential component of not just hip hop, of all music, house, of all music, R&B, pop. Everybody uses the drum machine. Afrobeat, everybody uses it, not just hip hop. But when you talk about taking credit for the drum machine, what has the drum machine really brought to us? What has it brought to us really musically? Is the drum machine really an advance or is it regression? And I say that as a drummer. Outside of Jay Dilla, who was a drummer himself, and the way he programmed drums, drum machines for the most part cheese up the sound. They do. They take away the soul. They take a lot of rhythm away, a lot of your natural sway and movement, and it harshens the texture. And it made music easy for people who aren't musicians. If I'm be all the way out, and if this don't apply, let it fly. But y'all, especially the musicians out there, especially you musicians, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Drum machines made it easy for people who aren't musicians to put together music. And the consequence of that is less musical music. Because you got people that ain't got no business doing music. They should probably be a bus driver. But you got them putting in music, making music, and you get a lot of the cheese that you hear out there today. Non-musical music. Minimally creative people in a creative field. So when you talk about introducing the drum machine, you basically talking about lowering the bar and saying, okay, now third graders can play in the NBA. That's what you're saying. Also, and again, not all drum programmers, not all. But we all know I'm not bullshitting when we say it's too many people that think they can put together some music these days. Yeah, it's a cheat code. What's up, Mama Zeke? It's always good seeing Mama Zeke live in the live chat. And what's up to all the chat? Everybody up in here. You know, salute to y'all. And so that's one aspect of it. Two, what is a drum again? What is a drum machine really? The drum machine, if I'm gonna put it, if I'm gonna be honest, and I'm talking about the most expensive drum machine you can find. Eddie Kane said, "You right, Fruity Loops is trash." Right, Fruity Loops is trash in the mother. Fruity Loops made music just for anybody. When Fruity Loops dropped, anybody can put together some fucking music at that. God damn. But when we're talking about the drum machine, that's like saying, okay, because it's so popular, that's like saying a McDonald's burger, the beef at McDonald's is better than Wagyu beef or better than a prime rib from a grass-fed cow. Yeah, they're both beef. One is real, natural. The other one have you shitting for 2 weeks. It's like in today's world, we have all of this. Like you now have 3D printed rice. A drum machine is like 3D print food. They got the 3D printed chicken, and they got all that 3D printed food that you got out there. That's what the drum machine is next to a real drum set. It's 3D printed food, fast, easy, convenient, but it might not be what you want long term. he said, they briefly to me, he said, I like how respectful you're approaching this topic because I never heard anyone Japanese say this. Yeah, Japanese people don't say this. Japanese people, for the most part, are very respectful of our culture. Every group got its races, but overall, Japan is extremely respectful to Black American music, Black American musicians. Japan, for the most part, is extremely respectful. I will say that. This was a post that was put up, it looks like by a New York tether, because I clicked on this dude's profile. He said he's a beat maker from New York. But so yeah, this dude says he's a beat maker from New York. Magic Juan D. So his name is Magic Juan Juan. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, that means he's probably Puerto Rican or Dominican. So we're talking about a Puerto Rican or Dominican tether out of New York that made this original post. There you have it. It's probably a Puerto Rican tether out of New, or it's a Latino tether out of New York making that. But anyway, and that's why I'm being respectful because this is with respect to the Japanese because the Japanese ain't saying that. Well, they could be saying it because I don't speak Japanese. At least they're not saying that in English. Got you, Brooke. She said, "Thank you for making that distinction." Right. So let's break down the drum machine, all right? And let's break down this drum machine thing, a ring a ding ding. So again, the early drum. Let me put some pictures up. These are images of the early drum, the early drum machine right here. These are some images of it right here. This is the first Japanese drum. This is the Wurlitzer Sideman. This is the Chamberlain. These are your early drum machines right here. These are your early drum machines, all invented here in America. That's these right here. This Rhythm Ace right here, this was the first drum machine invented in Japan. That came in the 60s. Okay? That came in the 60s when the Japanese got the drum machine. You may ask yourself, wow, why did they get it in the 60s? Glad you asked. Well, do you know that this one thing, that's why when it comes to music history, you always got to put that into the side of history. You cannot separate music history from history, like history. It all they got to tie in together for it to make sense. And you know, history is a story of wars, and no different than the drum machine. The drum machine and Japan's influence on electronics is the story of war. After World War II, Japan was demilitarized. They could not build an army. But the United States created treaties to build Japan economically. And to build Japan economically through the electronics industry. So while the United States, we were the ones, we created and manufactured our own TVs, our own radios, our own instruments, our own drum machines, and we did that all ourselves. It was in the 60s when, because of post-war, the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. Look up the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. Now, there was a bunch of different treaties that were signed, but this was the main one, the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. When you look up the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty, the United States agrees to provide security for Japan. In turn, Japan cannot rebuild its military, but it can build its manufacturing. It can build the electronics and precision technology. That's why when you look, even to this day, when you look at a phone, Japan living 2 decades ahead of us when it comes to their technology. That's where you get Sony, Panasonic, Mitsubishi. Those were all reparations Japan got paid for getting the shit bombed out of that for Hiroshima and getting their ass kicked. Which, when you think about it, Japan started this shit. D-Day in 1942. The United States wasn't trying to get in World War II. The United States, low-key, was quietly siding with the Nazis, low-key, playing both sides, but low-key siding with the Nazis. That's why they would call Henry Ford and tell him, and that's why they knew not to bomb near Ford plants in Germany. You know what I mean? Hey, now we're not about that's Henry Ford shit. You know what I mean? The United States had a Nazi training facility here in Los Angeles, just above Brentwood, called Murphy Ranch. And so the United States was really playing both sides, but they weren't trying to get in the war. And they was low-key siding with Hitler, if we're going to tell the whole truth. But Japan came in and forced the United States into war when they dropped in bombs over on Hawaii. And nothing that's talked about that doesn't. California actually got hit by a Japanese vessel that did not detonate right off the coast of Santa Barbara. Go look it up. There was actually a Japanese vessel that got to these California shores in Santa Barbara during that time. It's just something that's very, very, very rarely talked about. But Japan started this shit. America put them motherfuckers in internment camps, locked them away in internment camps, and for the remainder of the war. That was a wartime move. No disrespect to the Japanese people, but you cannot compare it to what we went through with Jim Crow and slavery, because that was something to where Japan aggressed the United States, and that was a wartime reaction. So part of the reason Russia aligns with China and does not fuck with the United States was because in World War II, Russia suffered 90% of the casualties of World War II. And they suffered most of the damage to their cities and the infrastructure. And when the Marshall Plan was created, Russia was not included and Japan was. How in the hell did Japan get reparations and Russia didn't, when Russia was 90% responsible for the winning of World War II? So Japan's reparations was, okay, you motherfuckers like kamikaze and niggas and falling out the sky and shit on Hawaii, so you can't get another military. But you can. We'll invest in Sony. We'll invest in Honda, Toyota. We'll invest in America, and the Western powers invested in Japan to become the electronics leader of the world. So Japan did not come out of nowhere creating none of this stuff. They were assigned this in the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. The United States could have done this and given this to Russia to help Russia rebuild its economy after World War II. But because those are fighting fractions of Caucasians, the Western European versus the Eastern European, they said, fuck you, Russia. This is going to Japan. And they also said, fuck you, black people. Because the United States could have kept this technology here in house. They could have educated the black people who helped win World War II in this world and then built the infrastructure within America. And we would have gone, who knows where this technology would have gone had we been the ones invested in and educated in to push this technology. But we weren't. Japan got it. You can consider this reparation. You can consider this a handout. But the only reason why Japan is in creating drum machines is because the United States gave them the blueprint and the assignment and the investment on how to do so. Okay? So, with that being said, Japan now starts to dibble dabble in drum machines. But like always, when it comes to the music, we are the first. And even if we don't invent it, we're the first to make it sound right. You dig what I'm saying? And some of the earliest uses of the drum machine, you got Sly Stone. These drum machines, the MRK2 was the drum machine that was used by Sly Stone. This is the MRK2 right here. Let me put it up. And this wasn't invented in Japan. This was invented in America. And like I said before, Black America, everything hip hop is stolen. And I won't say stolen because hip hop is a child of funk. You can't steal from your parents. Well, you can steal. Yeah, you can. Well, everything in hip hop comes from the funk generation. And the first time you heard this right here being used was in this song right here. That's it. That's a live drum set played on top of that MRK2. So even when it comes to the earliest uses of the drum machine, it's the Black American showing the world how to do it. And that was all in-house in America. Okay? This is before Japan made a drum machine worth using. They got the technology, but we ain't quite using they shit yet. They're figuring it out. So when you give credit to Japan, give credit to where the shit really came from. Anytime you're dealing with Japan, you're dealing with the United States. You're dealing with post World War II treaty when you're dealing with what Japan invented over there on their side of the thing. You dig what I'm saying? And let's take it a step further. What do you get when you get a drum machine? The drum machine brings in a loss in texture. The 808 and all that other stuff, the frequencies of 808s are actually disharmony. When you're dealing with a lot of the sounds that go into our music today, and especially hip hop, you're dealing with sounds that shifted the frequency and made the frequency more contentious. See, the drums are supposed to be when it comes to the four elements of life, earth, air, water, fire, the drums are the earth and they're the water. The hi-hats, the cymbals are the water. The drums are the earth. And the drums lay down a groove and they dig a pocket and create a texture for the rest of the song to wrap around. You have to understand, drums, live drums were taken out of music by force. Producers of the 80s were told, you have to use this new technology. And it was the black producers of the 70s that had to figure it out. I talked to my father-in-law about this one time when he was putting together some music for Lionel Richie, and he was using some of those sounds when he did this song. The new synthesizers started coming in, and when they did this, from the neons turned the night till the morning light. When they put together that song, they were experimenting with these didn't really have instructions. They did have instructions, but it was like you were experimenting. There was no, okay, go push a button and let's just play the song out like it is today. Those 80s music producers had to rewire things. They had to figure out how to put these sounds into music. Music is a mathematical equation. This shit don't just come together. You got to figure out the frequencies, what layers this stuff gets put in, what measurements, what parts. There's a lot that goes in how to place this stuff in the music. You can't just put a song together and say, hey, let me get a hit. No, music is very carefully crafted. So you had to figure this stuff out. And it was the R&B guys that were figuring this stuff out before the hip hop guys. And the jazz guys, Herbie Hancock and Tume. Stevie Wonder is really probably the most responsible for a lot of the synthetic sounds. Whenever there would be something new that came out, Stevie Wonder would be first at it. Stevie Wonder, Herbie Hancock, and Bernie Worrell from Parliament. Bernie Worrell was the first person to use a foot pedal to alter a Rhodes, a keyboard. Those are the names you got to remember. Bernie Worrell out of Parliament Funkadelic, Herbie Hancock, Stevie Wonder, and then when Prince came along, Prince played a heavy role in figuring a lot of this shit out. Then you also got to know Larry Smith from Houdini. He had to figure a lot of this stuff out. But when it comes to drums, I love this song right here produced by Larry Smith, 5 Minutes of Funk. Listen to how harsh the drums are, how loud they are. 5 minutes of funk. That's Larry Smith. They had to go to those programs. But listen to that. Listen to that. Let me see here. Listen to the texture of that. Listen to the texture. Yeah. This is Drug Battle by Eminem. Ooh, shit. Sounds good. But those electronic drums from 5 Minutes of Funk in the mid-'80s to Eminem in the 2000s to now, they still have no personality. I don't care what you say. Outside of a handful of programmers, y'all drums ain't got no personality. Compare these synthetic drums to the real thing. Hear that? That's the original of what Eminem was doing. Eminem. Ooh, shit. Sounds cool, but it don't have the texture of a real drum set. Real drums are irreplaceable. You could never in a million years program this pocket. I don't care what you produce, y'all drum beat makers say. Man, I can quantize and get the count of the drum, and you can bend it to where it goes back into just before the beat. I don't care how you program it. You ain't getting that. You're not getting that from a drum machine. So what did we really get from drum machines? All right. You're not going to get that pocket out. You can't program that pocket. You can layer it. You can layer program drums with a live drummer. Like, here's an example. This song probably is the deepest pocket ever. This is Dennis Chambers on drums, layered with a programmed drum beat. That's that's a reverse snare. So I'm not saying you can't do fly stuff with drum machines and programs. You can do some fly stuff with it. But when you don't have that real live drum element, people have been trying to remake Atomic Dog. You hear the Atomic Dog drums used on everything. Ask yourself a question. If drum machines are so off the hook and so, why when everybody is reprogramming their drums, they trying to sound like a drum set, not a drum machine? Why is it that when drums are sampled from other songs, why is it most music that sample is from the 70s and the drum, no matter how good they've gotten drum machines, producers are still lifting live drums? Now, Steely Dan. You're not going to program that. So the real question is, with so much use and overuse of drum machines, what have we lost? Did that progress the drums, or did it retard the evolution of the drums? It's a real question. Did the drum machine help advance and push forward the sound, or did it in some ways retard the sound, slow it down? And when you get into it, when you're dealing again, like people like Q-Tip. I love Q-Tip's drums. You know, where he programs his drums. I'm not saying all programmed drums are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying most programmed drums are bad. I am saying that. But not all. And also, we got to look at the record industry's role. The record industry made a lot more money that way. The record industry's overall goal in the 80s was to take out live music. That was the overall goal. Take out the background singers, take out the live drums, take out the bass, take out the choirs, take out anything acoustic that's going to feed your soul. Costs a lot more money to pay 12 musicians than it does to pay one beat maker. It's a lot cheaper. You don't have to spend money tuning instruments, tuning time, and mics, making sure you got the most updated mics and cords and cables. There's a lot that goes into live drum recording, a lot, and it also requires a drummer that can lock in and pocket. And a lot of drummers can't do that. A lot of drummers be all wandering with the time. Niggas be chopping it up. All that kind of shit. But don't know how to come back in on the one. So it requires a highly skilled professional, which then requires money. And overall, the music business, like everything else, cut the cost of production by bringing in drum machines, synthesizers, and all these other things. They forced bands to dwindle. This is the original Cameo right here. And Cameo found a way. It was like if you were a band, if you didn't dwindle your band down and go over to the electronic sound, you couldn't create any more records. This is Cameo. This is Cameo before they went electronic. I don't see why. Your mind of all your thoughts, and you will surely say. Hear them horns. Hear how lively that is. Them horns, that they had a full-on live band. But in order to make it through the 80s, they had to basically cut the whole band out. Larry Blackman went from drums and singing lead to they still make great music. And that was a classic. And they were one of the few that were able to handle that transition. A lot of bands weren't able to handle that transition, and most of those bands ended up going out of work. So a lot of highly skilled, great musicians, geniuses, could no longer get work because of the drum machine. And less skilled, quote unquote, artists got all the work because they were cheaper. So it's not like the drum machine was some hell of an instrument that just revolutionized music. No, it made music production cheaper for people who had all the money. And it made the drums more accessible to people who did not take the time to learn how to play the drums. And as somebody that spent decades playing live drums and teaching myself how to play, I don't give a fuck how it made people feel. I don't. Because a lot of us that chose to learn instruments got pushed to the side for some weekend warrior that went and ripped the drum pattern off a splice and then put in with some other or Fruity Loops, took in somebody else's sample, put it on top of that, and you niggas is y'all making music with the mouse. You mouse music making motherfuckers. That's just coming to cost. We ain't got no texture in our music no more. It's simple. It's repetitive. It's loop-de-loop. It's predictable. It's mechanical. And those of us with an ear for music, we've had to suffer for it. We've had to suffer for it. Now, I see people saying that you like it. That's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. Again, I still like McDonald's sometimes. But I'm under no illusions what McDonald's is in comparison to Lori's Steakhouse. I'm not running around saying, man, this McDonald's, man, this shit tastes good. Man, it's cheaper. Man, they got over 10 billion served. Has Lori served 10 billion people? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll be like, nah, this is McDonald's. This is some fucked up shit, but I like it. Whatever. And move on. the machine, the technology has made music accessible, and is now with AI for people who ain't got no business creating music. That's why everything sounds the same. Like here, look, chat room. Y'all think I'm bullshitting? You ask yourself, okay, why does everybody sound the same? Why is the same sample being used over and over and over again? Why is it that musicians of today, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, why with all this technology we have, why are they still lifting drums from live drums of the 70s? You got to ask these questions. What's the cause and effect? And the way I speak about the cause and effect. I'm giving a cause and effect analysis. I'm not telling you what to like. I'm not telling you what to listen to. I'm not saying I'm right and you wrong. I'm just saying look at the cause and effect. If drum machines are this big thing people are making them out to be, why are we still lifting live drums from the 70s then? Yeah, of course. That's it. That's a great answer right there, Big Bill Blast. Texture. 70s drums are chunky. Exactly. And that has to do with the analog, two parts, the analog recording and the skill of the drummer and the sound engineer. You had to have skilled people. Because, it's not hitting the snare, it's how you hit the snare. I wish I had my drums up here. I would show y'all, but I ain't got my drums here. It's these things, these decisions, it's these subtleties that a drummer does that give the song a personality that's bigger than tick, 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 boom. Music has to have a personality that jumps at you. You know, when you're talking about drums, certain things you can't program. And all of it isn't really playing straight ahead. Let me give you. It's certain things you can't program like this. Be good to you. And if you hang up on me now, I'll be through. You can't program that. It's a certain texture. You cannot program. Living and loving, waiting for the moment when you got time to kill. And if I can get you can't program that. That's feeling. Because it's technically not on time. Uh, uh, You don't. That hit ain't coming exactly on 2 and 4. When y'all program y'all shit, or this is what you niggas do. You'll say, give it a slight delay on the 2 and the 4. We're gonna sequence it to where it comes in just after. You're not gonna get that. Cause that's something you gotta feel. That's a feeling thing. You don't play that, you feel that. It's things that the live drums do and presentations that the live drums give that a drum machine can never produce and duplicate. Will a drum machine ever do this to you? Ask yourself, out of 60 years of drum machines, have you ever heard a drum machine with a better drum intro than this? Name it. I'll wait. Are you DJs out there? Name a drum machine produced song with a better drum intro than that. Cat got your tongue. Hold on. I'll close these blinds. Do y'all see? Chat room, help me out. Do I sound like I'm just bitching? Do I sound like an old complaining bitching ass nigga? Or do I sound like somebody that's making a point? What did we lose when we became reliant? We gotta ask these questions. I'm just a researcher. Part of doing research in history is asking questions. What has this particular history netted us? What has it gained us? Oh, Brian Tucker said Lupe Fiasco was the first time I heard someone talking about mess about big upping agents for giving us 808. Right. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. Yeah, Lupe was the first one. Yep. What did we lose? I don't mean to sound like some old hating ass nigga, but I am somebody who loves music. And I know that there are musicians out there, there are drummers out there who are so supremely talented that need a shot and need to be given credit more than some goddamn program. And these musicians aren't getting that. Is there a better intro on a drum machine than this? Shoot, shoot, shoot. Now one day, child, won't have to listen to your line. Has a drum machine ever outdone that? And not only, it's the dynamics. I'm going to play this part on here, and it'll probably get taken out later on the replay. If it gets struck, this part will get taken out. But listen to the dynamics that Diamond plays with on drums.
You know, I think
hear how soft it is?
Yes, I have.
Just pay attention to these dynamics.
And now I think I can put you out of my life.
It's real soft.
I'm gonna be free. Yes, I am. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna be free.
You let it ride out real smooth.
I'm gonna be free.
And then the crescendos and builds. Dynamics up, down, up, snare to click. Huh?
Say it, brother.
Can the drum machine do this? You miss those dynamics when you program your music. And I'm going to delete that part. So if you're watching this part later on, you just missed a whole dope ass segment on that's why you got to catch the lives. But Biz Marti just said something in the chat. The 808 is overused lo-fi crap. Hey, mother, I'm live. Huh? No, you said, as long as it's in the refrigerator, you're fine. Yeah. All right. I knew that was my mom. I love my mom. I just saw my mom and my dad. They just came through. Them is my people. Yeah, I like because me and my wife did a crab boil on Christmas, and so I gave my mom some of the crab boil. She's like, "Is it still good?" I'm like, "Yeah, Christmas was just a couple days ago. You good, moms?" Salute to my mom. I love that woman. Now back to what we talking about. He said, "Yeah, the 808." See, Biz Marti. Do you know what the 808 is? The 808 is a cheat code for musicians and producers that don't know how to fill space. See, it used to be in the 70s and before, you had to fill space with ear trinkets. There were all kinds of levels and things going on. You couldn't just allow some bass just to hum its way through because music has to have space, but the space has to be filled. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. A dance song like PYT. The way Quincy uses space. Fly with me. Don't you know now is the you hear that guitar, you hear that sort of that guitar sort of playing that off rhythm beat. Don't you know you hear that part filling the space. Then it drops out. And then when it gets to this part, let me take it to the max. I want to love you. Break. 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 You see, Quincy Jones, you got a bar. You got 4 beats. You got 4 quarter notes in the bar, in a measure. And in these bars, each of those notes you want filled with something. You can't play everything at once. So you got to be creative and say, okay, I just want the guitar to chunk it on the up note for this 8, and then he's going to fall out. And then the bass player, I want you to come in and play this part. And then I'm going to have the guitar come back in and do a riff on the 2, on 1, bass, dun, 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 2, break. Dun, 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 dun. It's a, each position is, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, because I'm a drummer. I don't do arrangements like that. I just understand how arrangements put together. I don't know the technical terms because y'all piano niggas, salute to y'all. All you piano motherfuckers that be, oh, that's the E flat minor. I don't understand y'all niggas languages. So don't, piano people, forgive me for fucking it up, all right? Because y'all are the real geniuses out there, all right? Don't take that compliment too personally, because you piano motherfuckers are also the most arrogant niggas in the band, too. But all you people that play piano, y'all know what I'm talking about. I just don't know the technical language. That's not my lane. I'm drums. But it's layered. Music has to be layered. Let me give you another one. And a lot of this is going to be taken out. So I'm going to put this back up on Patreon. All their levels of Patreon, this is going to be uploaded to Patreon. So Patreon members are going to get the full music episode. Non-Patreon members, y'all going to have to just, music got cut out for y'all niggas. But right here, this is my father-in-law, Mr. James Carmichael. Just in that first 10 seconds, you heard instruments come in and go out. The song doesn't start with a guitar. The guitar came in, I think, on the fourth bar. The guitar came in. Here comes strings. I gotta get one of those splitter. One day I'm gonna get a splitter. Matter of fact, I have a splitter on my phone so I can show you guys. But just in the first 20 seconds of that song, there were all kinds of ear candy, ear trinkets underneath that you probably miss. Let's play that part again. Just straight drums, bass. Here comes the guitar right here, right here. Listen, guitar. Here. Now here come the strings. Here come the strings right here. You're at that slight little rise just in the first 20 seconds. The first 4 bars, no guitar. Bar 5, guitar comes in subtly, but just underneath the music. Not too loud so it overpowers the music, but underneath so you can feel it. You almost don't hear it, but you can feel it. And it pushes the song. And the bass just playing a straight 1-2. Da-dun, dun, da-dun. And then right before the vocals come in, Mr. James Carmichael creates a string arrangement that leads you to anticipate those vocals. All those things happened in the first 20 seconds. Do you now see the difference between a producer, arranger, and a fucking beat maker? 20 seconds into the song. I'm going to play that part again. And again, if you're watching later on, you missed a whole great part of this. Simple bass line. Guitar. Guitar phase out strings. Cowbell. Now that cowbell is pushing it. Dun. And the bass player is just playing a simple dun, dun. But wait till you get to this part of the song. There's so much more. Bass is straight ahead. Strings. Simple. Yeah. But you strings. Won't let me give you my love, boy. What is wrong with you? Don't now listen to the bass right here. Guitar's back. Here. Every 4 now. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Every 4. These are all different subtleties and textures that a real producer had to put into the music versus when the 808 came, you didn't need those subtleties anymore. You don't need to do all that because
what's happening? What's happening? Hey, spoiler joy.
Leave it out and then
That time by yourself, let me see you do it. Let me see you do it.
If you got some subs, that shit blasting right now. But you don't have the subtleties anymore. You don't have to program these ear candies and trinkets to fill the space of a song. You no longer now, basically what I'm saying is you no longer need to pay these classically trained arrangers like James Carmichael, like Paul Reiser, like Leon Ware, Norman Whitfield, Hal Davis. Go down the line. Strings and horns. Here come strings.
Come live with me, angel. Come live with me.
Horn. It's an orchestra back there. Come on, cut out.
I wanna be your
Now that's been sampled a whole lot. How many times have you heard that part being sampled? See, what we get now is a sample of the good shit. We don't get all this ear garden of music no more. It's that Leon Ware right here. Hear them strings? Here they come. Drum machine can't do this. You see how the drummer, someone that programs drums don't understand the subtlety. The drummer's playing 16th notes on a hi-hat. You're playing this at a slower BPM, but the 16th notes give it a push because it's a slower tempo. But you got them 16th notes to push the sound forward, and you're playing with a closed hi-hat. These drum programmers only use closed hi-hat 99.9999999% of the song. When in real drumming, the hi-hat has different positions from closed to slightly open to give air, because a hi-hat brings in water and air. That's what the hi-hat is water and air. And then from the hi-hat, you go from keeping time with the hi-hat to keeping time with the ride cymbal. And now we go over to the ride cymbal. The ride cymbal is all air. It's water and air. Listen to the drummer go from the hi-hat to the ride cymbal. Let me go back. I ain't giving enough time. Listen to how tight the pocket is on that hi-hat, and then listen to how the whole texture of the song opens up when the drums go from hi-hat to ride cymbal. Listen. See, it's real tight. Listen. You see how it just opened up? Just from the hi-hat to the ride cymbal. That opens up the rest of the song. See, it's still open. Now back to the hi-hat. It's just the casual ear. I don't expect 99% of the people won't consciously know what they're listening to. 99% of the people, you don't consciously know what's going on. But it's these textures that send out different messages in the song. The music is supposed to enhance the lyrics. Whatever the lyrics are saying, the music gives a voice to it. I remember listening to my father-in-law talk about his favorite person to record with was Marvin Gaye. He recorded with Michael, Steve. He recorded with all the greats. He always said his favorite was Marvin Gaye. And when, what's the name of this song? Let me see. Mr. Carmichael wrote a lot of arrangements on the Trouble Man album. He wrote a lot of these. I'm looking for one of the songs. Anyway, I don't want to. Yeah, that's the blues right there. That's a shuffle. What he said when he recorded that song with Marvin, when Marvin would write a song and put together a song, he said Marvin's way was, "The girl left me. This song is about a girl leaving me. And on this part of the song, when we get to this part of the song, this is when she walked out the door." So then the arranger and the producer now had to find a way to give a sonic interpretation of the girl walking out the door. Or a song like this. That's why the music and the lyrics go hand in hand. The music mimicked the lyrics. The music gave a sonic interpretation of what the lyrics were saying. Like this song right here, "You Should Love the Ball." Balling is fucking. But listen to the texture of the music. The texture of the music. This is a throwaway show. I'm not about to make. I'm about to get all kind of demonetizations. Hit the super chat or cash app. Help me out if y'all want to. If y'all like what I'm doing, hit the super chat or the cash app. I think I'm gonna lead this up because this is too valuable of a lesson. But my monetization is gone from this show. Matter of fact, I might as well go on over to YouTube right now and just say, hey, look, yeah. Y'all ain't got to pay me for this one. All this music I'm playing, I ain't getting paid for shit from YouTube. Matter of fact, so I don't get a strike, I think I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the monetization off right now because I ain't about to get paid shit from YouTube on this. I'm playing way too much music. But y'all can help a brother out with the super chats. Myron Magnus says, "What idiots would entertain this idea? Those that have underlying despise of Black America." That's real talk, Myron. That's real talk. Only people that entertain this shit, people who fucking hate us. That's it. He's just speaking from an MC point of view. For us, with the vocals are the last instruments to the beat. Yeah. Appreciate that, Go. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, I'm demonetized like a motherfucker on this video, so all of your cash apps and super chats will help out. But I feel that the lesson is more important than the monetization right now. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you guys a language to speak. When I saw that tweet, I want to be able to, if you guys ever hear something like this, I want you guys to have the language on how to combat that kind of talking point. What did we really get with this drum machine thing? And what did we lose? What did we get and what did we lose? We got a whole lot. I mean, a lot of them textures in the drum machine are dope. And and they're good textures, but they're basically synthetic textures of real things. And I prefer the real thing. I'm sorry. But this song by Marvin Gaye, "You Sure Love the Ball." Listen to how the mood is set from the music. The music itself, if he doesn't sing a word, you know exactly what he's talking about. Got the woman moaning. Here we go. Listen to the texture. If you have a drum machine isn't going to give you this texture. You can't program that. I'm sorry. That can't be programmed. Well, you can program it, but we're going to know it's programmed. Yeah, sampling is over processed. It's the same thing with over processed food. The beats, these so-called beats are over processed. Now, compare that, let me see here. That's what made a lot of Death Row shit was so hot. Was their live musicians.
Can we get a motherfucking moment of silence for this small chronic break? You know what I'm saying? You never go.
We'd like to welcome y'all to the fabulous Carolina West. I own this motherfucker, and my name is Tat. Y'all niggas know who I am. Y'all niggas tearing up shit. But we got something.
Combination of live drums and electric drums. Live drums and drum machines sound pretty good together, texture-wise. It can beef up a snare. But Although drum machines oftentimes beef up the snare, beefing up a snare, that's old news. James Brown sometimes will have 3 different drummers playing one song so that snare be nice and tight and beefed up. It's a lot of ways to beef up a snare. You can stack it with a tambourine. You can stack it with wood claves. Earth and Fire was really big. Maurice White was really big on stacking his snare with wood claves. Not that song. I'm looking for another song. Right here, he's stacking the snare with when you get him, you stacking finger snaps. Maurice White has that snare stacked with finger snaps and wood claves. I keep saying I gotta bring my my percussion bag up here. It's in the garage. I keep saying I gotta bring my percussion bag up so I can show you all my wood claves. But on a song like that, three different instruments stacked on top of that snare. All right? And then nowadays you got the attack stack cymbal. Chris Dave was very popular with using the attack stack. A lot of these attack stack cymbals, they mimic when you see these. Let me show you an example. When you see this, when you go to a concert, go to a show, and you see this attack stack, I'm about to show it to you right now. This is mimicking the programmed drum snare. Whenever you go to a show and you see a drummer with these kind of cymbals, when they hit it, it sounds like a programmed snare. It sounds like a programmed drum, but you can get that sound out of an acoustic attack stack. It'll sound just like, matter of fact, sound better because it has more personality than a drum machine. And again, this is not about shitting on Japan. Japanese people did not say this. The person I saw Lupe Fiasco talk about it, and the tweet that I showed you guys earlier, it looked like it was from a tether from New York. Not a New Yorker, a tethered New Yorker. That's what it looked like who said that. Because people are always trying to give credit to our music to other people. We were fine without the drum machine. We're fine with all that stuff. Just give us some fucking music and get the hell out of our way. And if you're going to give credit to the drum machine, you still got to give credit to Black America. Because there were no Japanese musicians that were playing these drum machines and people say, hey, I want to sound like him. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. One of the people we really got to give a lot of credit to when it comes to a lot of the synthetic music is D-Train. He made a lot of that synthetic music sound real good. Live drums with electronics. This is live drums with the program on top. This is real New York right here. D-Train's out of New York. This is what real New York music sound like. Listen how positive this song is. And live drums though, that hi-hat. keep on.
Yeah. Keep on. Keep on.
That's that real New York music right there. That's D-Train. Appreciate the super chat. Go. William Martin, I appreciate the cash app. Yeah, y'all taking care of me because this whole show is totally demonetized. I ain't getting paid shit from YouTube. But I appreciate y'all for appreciating the history lesson. I'm doing this. Fuck, this is one of those. Okay, yeah, I know I know they're gonna demonetize this video, but the message is more important. So even when we come as a people, even when we, I'm gonna leave this up. But if YouTube blocks it, I play so much music, I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube blocks it. If YouTube blocks it, I'll go back and take some stuff out. Or I might do a late night live, just sort of rehashing what I talked about today. If YouTube blocks it, okay? Yeah, D-Train's that real New York. See, real drums are a sonic interpretation of your environment, and the drums sound like your environment. Listen to the name of the group, D-Train. That's some New York shit. All them trains y'all got, it ain't gonna be no group out of LA called no D-Train, C-Train, A-Train. Ain't no goddamn trains in LA. Well, we have them, but nigga, the people who move here take them punk ass trains. Nobody who live here take no goddamn subway. Who from here? But that's New York. That's y'all shit. Trains. Like BT Express. BT Express is another New York band. And they use their non-programmed drums to sound a hell of a lot like a train. You can't program this. This is D-Train. I mean, this is a BT Express out of New York. Hear them 16 notes? Chugga, 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 chugga. And notice the hi-hat. That's when the hi-hat opens and closes, that psst, psst, psst. That's when you hit the hi-hat, and with your foot, you open it, and you close it. And that sounds a lot like a train. That's why the drum set in America couldn't have been invented anywhere else. This isn't an African instrument because there are no fucking trains in Africa during this time, all right? So there are no African musicians coming up with sounds to reinterpret the environment that they live in. Musicians come up with sounds to reinterpret the environment they live in. And when you're around trains, your instrument's gonna sound like trains. But a hip-hop nigga say, I just want to sample of the best part. There is no best part of a song, fool. The whole song is the best part. They asked BT Express that songs like that. Y'all know this one. The sample of this one. This BT Express. Y'all notice Dre didn't program these drums. He just lifted these drums because as great of as a drum programmer as Dr. Dre is, there's no way you can reprogram this funk. There go the tambourine with those 16 notes sounding like a train again. BT Express out of New York, a train heavy environment.
Whatever it is, do it till you're satisfied. Go on and do it till you're satisfied. Whatever it is, do it till you're satisfied. People know just what they like. do.
Yep, truth hurts. Yep. Dr. Dre, truth hurts. Y'all hear that? What did we lose with the drum machine? The drum machine still ain't caught up to the 70s. Drum machine been around for damn near 100 years. The drum machine been around since the 50s. 70 some odd years the drum machine has been around, and it still hasn't caught up to the drum set in the 70s. Drum set in the 40s. Y'all dig what I'm saying? There's always that one dummy that comes in. How long have we been on? How long have we been live? We've been live now for an hour and 26 minutes. And here comes someone saying, nobody gives Japan credit for anything. If you had 1/3 of a brain, you would have at least gone to the beginning of the video so maybe you can see the examples I gave of people talking about giving credit to Japan, including Lupe Fiasco. But this is what happens when you're an emotional, butthurt dummy. Instead of saying, "Oh, before I burst out my stupid, sorry, hoe ass feelings, I'm going to just go ahead and have an emotional outburst because I have the temperament of my mom and my aunties, not any man in my family. I'm going to go ahead and burst out instead of at least saying, I wonder what he's talking about. Let me check that before I say something stupid. Nah, you're not that smart. So shut the fuck up and listen. Go back and rewind the video, watch it, and learn something, dickhead." But yeah, this video is all the way demonetized. I ain't making shit off this video. But y'all can hit the Cash App. Oh, Scotty Jenkins, I appreciate the Cash App. Much appreciated, Scotty. And William, much appreciated the Cash App. Appreciate that Go Gadget. Yeah. So back to what we talking about. What's up, Rocky? So yeah, salute to Japan, the Rolling Company, for doing what it did, y'all. Rolling got some dope shit out there. Yeah. Right about real talk, Pierre L. We must have something special coming with all these people coming at us in our culture. Right. Hit the Cash App, $ Dewan B1. Hit the Cash App and hit the Patreon. What's up, Rocky? Rocky been chilling. You been good, Rocky? Rocky been a good boy the whole show. Y'all see he came over here. Y'all saw when the show started, Rocky said he was gonna chill, right? And Rocky chilling. Ain't that right, Rocky? Ain't that right, buddy? Ain't that right, buddy? Rocky's still here chilling. He just woke up from his nap. We still here, Rocky. We about to leave, all right? We about to go watch football. All right? The people still here. The people still here. All right? You little light-skinned nigga. This little light-skinned homie right here. That's real talk. LL said they invented the drums but don't know how to use them. Right. Hey, Rocky, you got some big-ass ears, homie. Some big-ass ears. Nigga said we can't even have a headache. Right. Yeah, so our projected Cash App, Tyler Robinson, and in Hershey, appreciate the lessons. I appreciate the Cash App. What's up, Wally Gibson? And salute to everybody up in there, man. So that's all I wanted to say about this today. We might do a follow this since this is gonna get all the way demonetized. I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna leave this up though because there's too much real shit in this to take down. Unless YouTube takes it down, and if YouTube takes it down, this will be up on Patreon, and I'll re-upload it to the membership section. All right. But yeah, black people, this is our music. We must defend our culture at all costs, because if you don't have your culture and your cultural contributions, that's what makes it easy for you to be erased off of the map of human history. And we don't want that. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.